Alrighty, buddy, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a good night, but we're back on the Snake's Den stream for ESEA Advanced Season 40. Tonight we do have Snake's Den versus the Rugratz over on Overpass. Hopefully going to be an exciting game. Mostly because I haven't seen the Rugratz play yet, and there's a couple of factors heading into this match that might shake things up just a little bit. The first of which being that Snake's Den have made a roster change. Hornet, statistically one of the best fragging players on the roster, departed the team just 2 days ago, and they brought in, for tonight's game at least, I'm not sure what we're talking about long term, Tens to play for the match, and I guess maybe the foreseeable future as they find a new fifth, or maybe permanent fifth. As I said, I'm not exactly sure what's going to be going on in that regard, but heading into Overpass, it should be an exciting matchup just because no one, as far as I can tell, has seen Rugratz play in Overpass yet. Snake's Den, they played it twice at the start of the season. They won both out. The first one was in overtime against Early Birds. I believe I casted that one, but I could be wrong. The second one was 16-9 up against the Magic School Bus. And so they do have some experience on Overpass, but I do have a feeling that with a new, with a roster change on the cards here and with a new player coming in, having so much time between those games being played, there's going to be some wear-off effect coming off from that. And with the roster change being made 2 days ago, I honestly expect most of the time coming into this was just spent getting established on the map with the new player, trying to transition what was going on. And so I'm not sure if we'll see all of the same things coming out from Snake's Den as we have seen in the past from Overpass. But it'll definitely be a talking point coming into this, how they're going to be able to implement that new fifth onto the team. And so, with that said, actually, Rugratz lineup, there's a couple... Actually, no, I don't recognize any of these players. I probably should, but I guess I just haven't seen enough of Advanced yet. They're heading into this 4-4 versus Snake's Den being 3-5, and they've got a lot to work with here. If Snake's Den win this, they could be equalizing the kind of win-loss, so to speak. Both teams would be put at 4-5, but I would definitely think Snake's Den have the advantage going into this game, just because Rugratz might have read into those demos expecting something, but Snake's Den, because of the new fifth, they have the opportunity to shake things up if they want to. They're going to be playing a little bit more on the fly with a little bit more freedom regardless. So if Rugratz come into this with a little bit of counterplay, it might not be worth that much, and if they don't come into this game with counterplay, well, they don't really have the practice on the official maps yet to, I guess, maybe work out the kinks that we might be seeing in, normal official games, I guess, of this sort. But heading into the actual game itself, we do have 8 players in the server. I don't think you can play Counter-Strike with 8 players. I could be wrong, but I don't think you can. And so, we'll wait just a little bit more. I can talk about, I guess, Overpass. Because I'll continue on with the thought of bringing a new player onto the team. I don't know exactly. I don't remember where Hornet was playing on Overpass, but the B bomb. I guess both bomb sites as a CT are very difficult to make new integrations into, because chemistry on the B bomb site matters a lot in terms of, when the rushes start to come through, how do you react with the utility? How do you set up the crossfires to make sure that the enemy is locked out of the bomb site? How do you play trades to make sure you have the man up when the bomb goes down? All these different scenarios can unfold in the B bomb site, and it takes time and a lot of just reps on the bomb site to make sure that the kinks are kind of worked out. And so if we find Tens playing on the B bomb site, we could find ourselves in an interesting situation where they might not be as thoroughly prepared heading into this game as you would want to be on a B bomb site, because those players need to be working, almost like lock and key. Just you almost can't communicate the moves you make. It has to be almost intuition, because if the time it takes to communicate any decision you want to make, at that point you've probably already lost the bomb site. You've dropped 2 players, and the game can just switch. The round can turn on its head just like that. And even over on the A side of the map, if Tense ends up, I don't remember where Hornet was playing, but if Tense ends up moving over towards the A side of the map, we could run into an interesting situation of, I guess chemistry comes into play again, but the A side of the map is not very complicated. There's not much nuance to it, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty details, there's a lot that can go wrong. There's a lot of subtleties when it comes to going for aggressions, retakes, that you do need to have time invested with your teammate to be able to work correctly. And so whoever's opting on the other side of the map definitely needs to, I guess, come up strong today for a fact. And so I guess with that said, I was wrong. We now have 7 players in the server instead of 8. This is tragic. But yeah, we have 2 minutes until I could delay for a little bit longer. Yeah, why not? Let me take a look real quick. Because I know I talked about how Hornet left the roster and was the highest tracking player on the server. It was honestly kind of surprising to me how, like, big the disparity was. If I check real quick. So Hornet was at 13 RWS, and then the next in line was Jackie at 9, with everyone else following shortly afterward. No one went below 8. Which is kind of surprising. That, like, disparity is, like, it's kind of surprising. You know, Hornet on 90 ADR, immediately following was Jackie with 73. And so definitely, like, putting up numbers on the team. Getting most of the bomb plants too, getting most of the clutches. Hornet was coming up strong in a lot of the situations that Snakes didn't need to win. And so it's definitely difficult to replace a player like that. Again, I can't claim to understand why he would have left the team, maybe, or if he was kicked, or whatever the situations might have been. But definitely big shoes to fill here if you're tense. And Rugratz coming to the table is an unknown. And so, not that they'll have to prove themselves to me because they're in advanced. They've already won the 3 games. That's more than enough for me to say that they can contend into this game. But because I've never seen them play before, and I've never, obviously, there's no statistics on Overpass, they're coming into this with enough of an unknown for me to think, you know, Snakes Den probably have a decent chance into this game. If they can carry over any of the kind of chemistry, the playmaking that they had in the previous games in Overpass, we should see a pretty good showing here tonight. But that is to say, right? I do expect this game to be close. I do expect double-digit rounds from both teams. I don't think either side will take it away with any real momentum. I think there'll be back and forth contact. I think, especially from the side of Snakes, and we're going to see a lot of mistakes being made, and that's okay. But that's Counter-Strike. Roster changes happen. The quicker you learn to adapt, I guess the better. The quicker you can come back into form. Yeah. Still, yeah, just 8 players in the server. It's now forfeit time, actually. Oh, we got 9. Okay, we're getting there slowly. And one thing I'm always looking forward to in Overpass is it's honestly the A side of the map. Because the way terrorists learn to read what control they have, the tendencies that I guess they're observing from the counter-terrorists, it's always very interesting to see because, I mean, just an example, over towards long, if you're noticing that most of the time you're fighting contact over towards connector and over towards divider, you can, for the most part, assume that you're not going to be fighting control long. And so, you know, even sending a couple of players over towards, oh, here we go, sending a couple of players over towards long there to take control, it can force CTs into an awkward rotate situation. And, I mean, yeah, heading into a map like Overpass, rotates are a massive part of the game. If you can force the other team into a situation they don't want to be into, you know, things get difficult. And it's very similar to a map like Inferno. I know I drew comparisons in the last map I casted, where if it's a CT, you can completely lock out one side of the map, forcing the Ts into the other actually puts them into an even worse situation than you might expect, because not only are they fighting for, I guess, one side of the map, but it becomes really easy to just gamble that side of the map and do whatever you want with it. And so, knife round slowly coming to a close. Chewy up against Just, and he's not going to get the right side of it. The Rugratz will find the knife round in their possession, and they'll switch over to the CT side. First round of the game coming into play, and with all the factors I just mentioned, it's definitely lining up to be a good one. Chewy, smoke molly in hand. Time being, he'll drop it to his teammate, Jackie. We're on the CT side. Lax buying himself 2 flashes to work with. And a kit, everyone else armor in hand. But this is a standard CT side from them. They'll go for the early contact over towards Fountain, but actually he's going to be sitting towards Connector. So information not in their possession is 4 counter-terrorists stacked their way over towards the B-bomb side. Snake Den forced their way over towards long. This is interesting, but no early contact over towards B. I'm not sure if Sands heard anything, but the rotations are starting to be made. Over in Connector. Contact is ready to be made as well. Zan's pushing his way up and immediately drops Jackie with the first kill of the game. And immediately, Rugratz looking for some information as Snakes Den start to force their way up bathrooms. Just could find himself on the odd side of this gunfight, but oh, backing out of it just barely. Omod's surely gonna hear those footsteps. Chewie starting to work his way out towards Monster. Ollie, Gushin towards Heaven, but in towards the barrels. A kill trades him out. Working their way down towards the B site. The rotations are well aware of this. The Rugratz will afford to contest with NSM alone at the bomb site. Gets a crucial headshot. That puts him in a great situation. Gunfights towards Heaven aren't going to connect. Omod forcing his way out of bridge. We'll find another. Will work its way down safely. Plenty of time to work with, but swinging 2, Omod doesn't stand a chance, and this leaves Hyena 1v2 situation, but getting the goosh, 4 combined HP on the 2 players remaining. Rugratz pulled through with the pistol round, and I don't know what's happening to my frame rate. It is absolutely dying. I'm not sure if that's showing up on stream, like it is for me, but this is actually unbearable. Let me close anything I can, honestly. This should do. It'll have to do, I guess. I don't really have a choice. Rugratz off the pistol round. They've got the full investment. Plenty of SMGs to work with as Snakes Den opt to reinvest with the AKs. You can see the weapon disparity here. Snakes Den looking for the round win off the back of that bomb plant. That nade's going to do plenty of damage, but Rugratz fall back off of it. Not looking to contest. Not just yet. Jackie. Rear contact over towards Long the Deagle, just looking for information, not going to find anything. He's going to work his way up. Find himself in possession of all of the long bathrooms. And, I mean, he has the timing here. This is actually nice awareness. You can force your way up quickly. You can put yourself in a good situation. Find some off rotations, but just now reading it. He's rotating back. Jackie's already in a good position for this. This jump spot not going to be able to catch Deagle off guard. Jackie's starting to work his way up. Surely he hears these footsteps too. Just rotates back in towards rooms, and Deagle starting to take contact. Scout not ready for it. And just drops. Sands alone towards connector. No one or divider, sorry. No one spotted him out yet. And this is... Oh, it's actually going to put him in a great situation. Bomb going to cross 2. Immediately dropped. AK now in hand. Over towards Bank. Jackie dropping as well. This does leave Hyena alone towards the A side of the map. The Galil only going to find one as over on the B bomb site. Omod's able to respond. Forces it into a 1v2. But Bomb not in his possession. 30 seconds left. That smoke more or less sealing the deal. Omod going to have to force walk into 2 rifles here. And the AK's out of Zan's. Actually, Blackbird seals the deal there. Sorry. The Galil from Blackbird will pick up that final kill. And the rifles from Snakes Den, not only not able to pull through, but falling into the hands of Rugratz. They only came in with the MP9s and the FAMASas. I guess a Scout as well. That's not what you want. But it's the gamble that was worth taking. 2 rounds down. Just looking to fight their way back in. Zan spots early contact, and Nade will do decent damage. Just forced off. It's just with a flashbang. Zan's AK looking strong. Finds himself 4, looking for the 5th, but shut down by the pistol. Chewie hot on the P250, but surely at this point, it's just a technicality. A formality, rather. Rugratz finding their 3rd. This does bring us to our first gun round of the game. Interestingly enough, we will have 2... I say that. Lexophy does end up buying an op there towards the end, but just now with an op in hand, they'll miss the molly off of spawn, and late to the lineup just will fall back. But Zan's is in a good position here if they don't end up clearing this out. But the spam is very common. I know I like to do it. Question is, what will they do? Oh, but it connects. Jackie's well aware. This leaves Just alone towards the A side of the map. The smoke's going to close some sight lines, and he starts to walk his way back towards the A side of the map. Utility starting to strangle him, and NSM looking to support him. We're going for the aggressive pick. That's exactly what they needed, and Just finds an opening back into the round. 4v4. Progressing over towards B. Rugratz find themselves in possession of water, but Omod almost found the timing out monster as a result. force the situation. These are the lurk kills you'd like to see from a T side. This is actually brutal. It's the bomb in connector, and Omad with the early kill over towards Graffiti. This is great. If Lax, if he doesn't find this kill, early contact going to be gained, but not able to do it. Omad just the better angle, the better rifle on the servers. He finds himself a third, leaving just with the op in hand. Just the early response at the start of the round. Snake's Den ready to find themselves first round of the game, but at this point it's just a situation about hunting. Hyena aware, but just all positioned by him, able to save himself just a few more seconds, and I don't think the hunt is going any further than that. Snake's Den want the money heading into the next couple of rounds, and so Rugratz will keep the op in hand. Snake's Den and ground their, find themselves their first round, 3-1. I will say none of these rounds have been blowouts just yet. I would argue that last one is, but Omad definitely found a timing. He got those kills. He was aware of where the rotations, where the players would have been positioned. He found all of those relatively easily. That's not to say Rugratz did anything wrong and that they should have lost that round. That's just the way Counter-Strike plays out sometimes, and is why this game can be so good. But for the time being, game's looking really close, but Lax is playing himself close here, and around the smoke, Hyena's found one, MP9 able to trade back immediately off the start of the round into a 4v4 situation. This does tend to favor the terrorists, though. They've saved so much more utility. You can already see on the HUD, two smokes, two flashes to work with. They recognize that. Saints has gone on the offensive. They want to response back into this round. Question is, will they find the flank shoulder spotted? Intense finds the kill. That's a big coming out from the replacement here. Lax looking to do the same, though, as the smoke starts to fade. Rifle's going to be spotted, and Omad finds another kill here over towards the B side of the map. Things could have been made interesting if he dropped there. And leaves it to the two A1Ss of Blackbird and NSM. Snake's Den respecting the time. I like to see this. Omad looking to repeat the shenanigans from the last round. Oh, it's going to fall as well. Omad's looking clean so far this game. I'll leave her towards the A. Blackbird won't be able to find any more gunfights as their bomb rotates its way down towards the B bomb side with around 20 seconds left. It will find its way planted, and Blackbird will find himself in a rough situation. Similar to the last round, 4 players ready to hunt. But again, Snake's Den, they're playing back. I'm not sure if they're expecting a retake situation here. But regardless, they're going to keep rifles up heading into round number 6. Snake's Den finding themselves 2 in a row too. Once the gun round's starting to play out, they're definitely finding the better side of them. And off the back of this rifle will be useful to Rugratz because we'll be forced down to pistols for this next round, and Snake's Den will be handed a good opportunity to equalize the scoreline. Second gun round in a row going in the favor of Snake's Den, and this has been... It's interesting because we're not seeing a traditional, at least I would say traditional, we're not seeing the traditional like aggression coming out from CTs from Rugratz. I mean, they're going for this A control right now. This is more of a response you'd expect to see in a situation like this, but positioning themselves. It's so many rifles to fight. You can't expect Blackbird to win that as he only takes down 1. But Rugratz they've been pushing more off angles. We saw them push down towards connector. We saw the push towards monster a couple times. They pushed water once as well, but we're not seeing them get the early kills on the round and keeping them in their favor. That is what Overpass is so powerful for, when you can just take an op, send it up fountain, get a quick kill, and disappear. take the op, go connector, get a quick kill, disappear through water. All these situations that you can potentially, even like the pick towards monster. When CTs can find those early kills, it can be very beneficial. As just over towards A finds a response, but unaware of Tense's position, will fall shortly afterwards. That leaves teams in a 3v3 situation as Omad is unleashed out towards monster yet again. Pistol ready to swing, though, when Lax finds the better side of him. Trying to find the rifle and recover it. Tense only able to grab a couple of bullets. Chewy walking himself out. He's immediately dropped as well. Tense left in a 1v3, all down to the rookie. 30 seconds left. Bomb in possession. Rugratz lost information. The rifle is dropped. There's 2 more left to contest with. Smoke. Grab information. Rather deny information. NSM through the wall with the AK. Taking advantage of the penetration there. And Rugratz finding their 4th result. The pistol's there too. Snakesen actually falling for the aggression. They got the trade on that first kill. But the subsequent push-up from NSM ends up finding... Rather, just going... It might have been just, actually. I don't exactly remember. But the subsequent aggression, finding the kills, and I guess that's what I was wanting to see out of Rugratz, going for those main advantages and trying to keep them. It ended up doing them many favors, and I think that's the first situation where you see Snakesen not able to claw themselves back from man disadvantages. I think we're going to start seeing this half turn on its head, slightly. Snakesen have been taking 1v1s, at least for the most part, for the majority of this half. I think Rugratz are starting to take advantage of that. They're going for those 1v1 duels. And now they're starting to win them. Minute left on the clock. Omad this time not out towards monster. He's positioned himself over towards short. He's gained contact. No one looking to feed him another kill. The B bomb site players here looking great. And Hyena finding a first kill over towards bathrooms. This is not what you wanted to see from Rugratz. They were looking for that extra opening back into the round. You can see how this is forcing just back on the offensive, sorry. He wants this response, and the flick is secured. Another man down is over towards long. Jackie looking for the lurk smoke. The bomb rotating down to B, though. Omad, he found early contact earlier. He knows there's still a player stuck towards the bomb site. Is Flash gonna send him out backwards, fully blinded, and Omad looks for his first. Drops immediately afterwards. Chewy out on the trade. All lead out of the bomb site. Bomb planter going down, but Jackie's ready on the flank. Not planted for him, though. I'm not sure if he'll be able to... Oh, it is. I forgot where the bomb was planted. They are able to get the kill, but just ready on the op is going to be able to clutch it back out. 5th round for Rugratz. Snakesen starting to stumble. Despite Rugratz not getting the man advantages, they're now starting to win rounds. And whether that's off of holding the bomb sites or working the retake situations, they're looking more composed. I think they just needed a couple of warm-up rounds, and Snakesen, they're heading into another gun round here. They forced the situation, but looking more free is Rugratz, and I like this from Zanz. This is more of the traditional A presence I was talking about. He's keeping himself alive towards parties. Jackie forces the situation over towards long, but Zanz surely spotted out there. Chewy forces him back towards Divider. Jackie's already worked his way up towards long, and this is dangerous. Rifle not in hand, but Jackie can't quite hit the shot. It will force the rotation up, and now Just is being hunted in towards bathrooms. Chewy needs to hit this shot. His team needs him to hit this shot, but it's not going to happen. Just once again delivering. He's 8-4 in the server right now, looking very good with op in hand. Starting to run out of options now. Snakesen. 50 seconds left on the clock. Smoke Molly and a flashbang left to make do, and Lax put himself close to this smoke. I'm not sure if he'll grasp, but Close enough range to where Omod could be caught off guard. If this kill goes to the favor of Snake's Den, though, they will unleash themselves into the B-bomb site, and that's actually what I'm scared of. Rotation's actually starting to go back towards A, though. Jackie doing a great job of baiting out for information, but Lax with the MP9 in hand. He's made this work, but the spray just not good enough for him. Over towards Short Hyena, able to respond, but on the worst side of 2 rifles. Tense drops another while full blind. So many rifles on his screen to fight there. Ten's only going to find one more before the rifle of NSM takes him down. So 6 rounds for Rugratz now. Plenty of a buffer to work with. Is the lead of this half definitely starting, I guess along with the momentum as well, starting to lean towards the favor of the Rugratz. Back down to pistol. Snake's Den not making it work. I think at this point, a good old-fashioned execute would do them well. We see them, they've got the nades to go for the, onto the boost, but unfortunately, no one's waiting there for it. Smoke out towards B, the nade stack ready to go, but no one on the other end to receive it. Blackbird with an A1S in hand, looking to receive the monster rush, but immediately dropped after finding 2, looking to respond is NSM with a nice double, and looking for the 3rd, but instead, it's Hyena to recover the rifle, but there's no bullets in the gun, and Zanz cleans up on the B-bomb site. That brings us to our first pause of the game. I assume from Snake's Den because they're severely lacking openings into this game right now. That B-rush definitely, I mean, it was a pistol. A Nico round, sorry. So they were forcing the situation, just getting the round over with. They could probably take a couple rifles out of Rugrat's hand, and they did, right? They took those 2 rifles. But I think there's a severely flawed game philosophy what they're working with right now, which isn't finding them into bomb sites in situations where their players aren't getting multi-kills to get onto those bomb sites. I mean, we saw Snake's Den win a round because Omod just walked out of the B bomb site and got 3 entries. You can't rely on him to do that every single round over towards B. There needs to be another alternative to force your way onto the B bomb site, and we haven't seen Snake's Den's execute able to, I guess, perform to that level, so far this game. And I mean, over towards A, we've seen the op of just pick up so many of these early kills, and that's what's been forcing Snake's Den back towards the B bomb site. And so Snake's Den running out of options. They'll need to create some for themselves. Molly gonna force Just out. That does leave Zanz alone towards the bathrooms. Looking to make contact with another op. Just not able to hit that flick. That's well timed from Jackie, and in towards the bathroom. Zanz cannot help against this executes. The rotate's going to be slightly late up towards the A site. Omad dropped towards B. Bomb site will be in possession. The T side. Bomb planted, but Zanz is still in such a good post-plant situation here. He can catch off any rotating terrorists back out. And if Chewy aggresses any further, he could put his team or 4v4 into a worse situation, but re-smoke starting to fade. Zanz finding the kill onto Jackie over towards Long. That's an op down. Very important. A post-plant situation. You can see this T side slowly starting to fade back, but over towards Long. Chewy's find a response. Zanz now down. The bomb's starting to tick away. There's not much time here to work with. That flick not going to connect. Bomb starting to be defused, and they're looking for it, but they find it. Tense delivering huge as Chewy just has to win out with the time now, and NSM going to blow up with the bomb. That's a 3rd round for Snake's Den after a very nice execute from them. Zen's just not able to find the impact he needed in the situation he put himself. Seven to 3. Rugratz, they'll only invest into this round with the rifle. They want the op in hand. That's definitely a priority, and well, lacking the loss bonus to work with. On the double save, we'll try to make it work. Jackie with an op over towards mid. Will find one. Chewy's ready to respond shortly afterwards, but Lax with the M4 in hands forces his way behind enemy lines. He finds himself a double, not able to trade out. Jackie falls back. Bomb's headed towards the B bomb site, and Water Control is in possession of the Rugratz. Splash. Gonna be deep enough, though. Finds one, but immediately traded out. The USB's strong as Blackbird recovers an AK. Rifles on the board, but Snake's Den now with possession of the B-bomb site. Rotation from Blackbird matters a lot here. Sorry, from Lax. They split themselves up. They could present 1v1s to Snake's Den, who are in a great position to hold out the CT side. They've worked their way in towards Heaven. The flashbang actually obscures Blackbird's pathing here. The op and off angle, and the flash doing a great job, but that does leave Omod alone against the op and the AK, sorry, and Blackbird picks it up with the AK in hand. Diffuse going to come through despite not having a kit, and Rugratz able to find their 8th round. And once again, I mean, we see those lurking kills coming up from Rugratz absolutely sealing the deal for them on their CT side. That double kill from Blackbird, I mean, I'm quite surprised that Snake's Den didn't expect to push in towards Playground, but that's what happens when you're playing with a new player, right? Those sort of micro communications that should, I guess, could be made. They don't, and all of a sudden you drop players in must-win rounds against a bye, which is not ideal. That's the second low bye that we've seen the Rugratz win this game. Water control, now in possession of the Snake's Den. Utility. Needs to be lined up, but over in connector. Tense is unleashed. The op right above him, but nothing to be found just yet. Instead, Jackie's forced himself out towards the A-bomb site, working his way back behind enemy lines. This is an intelligent play, but unfortunately, if they decide to hit B off of this, they'll put themselves onto a bomb site with 3 people on it. Connector rotates ready shortly after, and connector control going to work out for Rugratz that will force them out towards Monster, and unfortunately the op and connector hasn't been found yet, and so the last player on the server just finally unleashed. First shot of the round from him, finds a kill, but unfortunately 3 left to find. Bomb starting to work its way down. Team's money already broken, he's committing to the save already. The situation was so hard to track. I was waiting that entire time for either Tense or Just to make contact with the other, but neither was willing to budge. Instead, we saw the water take come through. We saw Hyena drop. We saw the push out towards Monster, which was a good response from Snake's Den. I mean, they'll do good work for themselves, able to find themselves a 4th round. But more importantly, they'll start to build back money because the situation's been kind of rough for them. They'll keep 3 alive. The bomb will explode. That's even more money for them, and the round win is surely appreciated. Four rounds, still separating these two teams, and only 3 left in the round. Round number 13 looks to present another interesting situation to us. Rugratz, once again, committing to this bye. They don't have much to work with. Lax and SM on Deagles. Rugratz have committed 4 towards the B side of the map. You can see how Snake's Den are already leading towards this, but we've seen these pistols falter before. This is an execute Snake's Den need to win. Not because of the round difference, but because of the confidence that brings along with it. But Just fighting for his contact, immediately going to be traded out. The op not going to be recovered, and Omod finds a headshot through the wall. Blackbird, though, close by. But Snake's Den so far comfortable with the man advantage of the gained. Sands over towards A. He's starting to aggress, but Snake's Den is starting to rotate their way up. They have to be aware of a potential push here, and that's an excellent shot from Jackie off the op. And it's just missing the timing on that. Now split between 2 bomb sites. Rugratz have to make it work. We're making contact over towards connector. Only going to scare the terrorists away, but they're not scared of the counter-terrorists. Instead, they're just looking for more opportunities. They'll rotate their way back up towards A with the bomb in hand as NSN's been rotated back towards the B bomb site. And A has been left wide open for the Snake's Den to receive it. Logical counter-strike, but Rugratz, they've been looking solid on these retakes, and are they committing to the save here? Wait, do they think it's B? Oh, I'm slightly confused. Okay, regardless now. Bomb's down, they're in a 2v3 situation. Not really much choice at this point. They'll have to commit to this save. Money's still on the low side for the Rugrats. They'll keep these these guns, the op especially most important here, heading into this next round. It'll give them a good chance to win it, but the money's still so low. They'll be forcing back with at least probably one pistol to work with one deagle in hand in Snake's Den. I mean, it would be really good if they could get one of these kills. They've been really... most importantly, they need this next round just because of how much they've been struggling to get those pistols. The anti-ecos have not been successful for them. I think they've lost all but... Have they lost all of them? I think they have lost all of the non-gun rounds that Rugrats have presented to them, and it's caused them to win a lot of the follow-ups as well. Utility. Over towards B, but the Rugrats starting to work their way in towards connector. An early smoke to boost over, but instead of water control, Snake's Den have pushed players over towards the bathrooms, looking for the early shots as just, but instead he's going to fall back towards A prematurely. But a new situation presents itself. Snake's Den have yet to contest with two players in connector, and Blackbird's unleashed. He finds himself one, and both players able to fall out as tents. Not quick enough to be able to trade out. He's looking for more as Blackbird pushes himself up. Jackie, already scoped, is looking for a response. This is so awkward. Blackbird unleashed as he finds himself... I was going to say fourth, but stolen out of his hands. Zomad is left alone to deal with 5, but damage plenty done onto Zands. It's not impossible. I would say a lot of these kills could be isolated with little utility left to work with. He needs to make a decision shortly. Rats just have to not present a kill to him. Any opportunity you give is an opportunity you could potentially regret later, and so ticking down the bomb is a priority. Omar left with 20 seconds left, picks up the op, and he'll opt to save it as Snake's Den. Without it, they put themselves a rifle down into the next round, and so Jackie will recover. Weapon to work with, but Omad going to have only enough to rebuy an AK-47 heading into this next round, and the remaining utility he needs. So, last round of the half, Rugrats find themselves in 9th. Looking very strong on overpass so far. Snake's Den unable to carry over any true momentum into any of these rounds. Which is unfortunate to say, because I think they've had good rounds, but I mentioned it earlier, it has been off the back of heroics from this roster. I don't think their current tactical approach is doing them, I guess, the favors they need to be getting to this game, but that's a kill through the smoke. Omad dropping lax at the start of the round, and this was forced Snake's Den into a preemptive B bomb site. That smoke will prevent it. Looking for the boost. I'm not sure if Hyena's ready to receive this, but oh, that's surely a done deal for him. Blackbird is doing such a great job this game at finding these, I guess, not only kills, but finding them safely. It's very rare that he's gotten a kill and hasn't been able to stay alive for, like, the immediate, like, moments afterwards. 14 kills for him right now. 98 ADR. Absolute legend. Rugratz are appreciating his presence in the server. 50 seconds left on the clock, though. Not enough utility to force their way in towards A. At least not in a post-plant situation, so they'll work their way over towards B. Blackbird's position close, playing anti-flash, and the Molly gonna allow for a little bit of a timing with the rifles forced their way through. Sands able to respond. Bomb site has been lost. The bomb able to be going down, and oh no. He's looking to go on the aggression, but drops. That puts Justin in an awkward situation. Op in hand. Over the top of the smokes, he finds the leg of Jackie. Bomb just has to tick now, and great decision from Snake's Den. They're rotating their way back in towards water. Just does have a kid in hand, but more importantly, he has a smoke. He can just obstruct the sightline. If the AK can't find the contact here, this could be the defuse. But he doesn't commit to it. Oh, there it is. Rifle needs to go huge there. They don't know where it's planted. Rugratz finding the defuse in a 10th round of the half as Just finds the ninja against 2. What a great showing from the CT side so far, and man, I'm really struggling to see the upside for Snake's Den right now. They've lost every single important round that they've needed to win. They lost every easy situation that was presented to them. Rugratz just did such a great job of making the most out of bad situations, and I mean, it shows. This 10-5 half is deserving. I mean, it's weird though, because interestingly enough, we saw Jackie get a couple kills on the T side with the op. I mean, we are heading to the CT side. We've seen in previous games how much impact he can have. I mean, so far I've seen Just make a lot of work as well, but the T side op on overpass, it's not as effective. And so while we saw Jackie get a couple of those kills, I don't think we'll be seeing it too much. It really is team preference, but we don't see most teams doing it. And so I'm curious with the rifle coming out on the board and Jackie heading onto the CT side with an op. If he can perform the same level of heroics over towards A, you know, keeping the terrorists out of, I guess not just out of the bomb site, but keeping them away entirely, forcing them down towards connector at the start of the round, then I mean I could easily see the second half, I guess, going the way of the CT side again. But it all starts with the pistol round. We saw Rugratz grab it in the first half, and it was part of the reason why they got to their 3rd round in a row. But that is the way the momentum begins, and I don't even necessarily think that Snake's Den need this pistol round for round difference reasons. And I mentioned this before, but I think at this point confidence is lacking. They've lost a lot of rounds, and I'm sure these players know it, that they did not expect to be losing. So winning this pistol round, if anything, it gives them mentally a little bit of wiggle room to work with as they head into the next half of this game. But I mean, it's been exciting. And as I talked about in the pregame too, I definitely think we're noticing the symptoms of a Snake's Den that just isn't very well meshed. They've lost one of their best fraggers, and it's very well visible. When you lose such, not an important fragger too, but when you lose any player on your team, it's so difficult to maintain all the same protocols and keep all the same. The team environment isn't the same. As much as you might want it to be, it's very rare that a player like that drops and you end up seeing an improvement in the near future. And so I wouldn't be too upset if I was Snake's Den, regardless of the outcome of this game. They're still ready to play, that's for sure. Well, you know, last to be ready up, and I mean, I'm curious too, because it has been such a long time since Snake's Den have played Overpass. And so, obviously, I can't. It's been a while since I've seen that game, and I don't have it committed to memory as to what happened, but I wonder how much they tried to re-implement and carry over from the earlier stages of the season. And I wonder if Rugratz, you know, if Snake's Den did keep some of those implementations and carried them over into this iteration of the roster. I'm curious if Rugratz tried to make any counters or not. Because if they did, they seem to be working out great. But if they're just playing their own game, I mean, I think we're looking at a pretty good Overpass roster right now. They're looking pretty solid. A couple of kinks need to be worked out, but I mean, first official map on it, at least on ESEA, kinks are expected. Finally, start to get ready to work our way into the second pistol. Scoreline 10-5. Rugratz against Snake's Den, looking come into this with the round advantage. Mud will pick up the kit. Smoke in hand for him as Zan's able To invest with the Molly and 2 flashes, but that looks to be, at least for the time being, we'll see what Blackbird does. He'll invest with the armor. So the only utility for this T side, no smoke to work with. This could be dangerous. They're going to be relying on the pistols to get them close and holding those playing positions early on. 3 terrorists in towards connector. Chewy destined to be first to make contact. Shoulder jiggle finds 2, but not ready to swing just yet. Rugratz playing the slow. They understand what could await them here, and this is well done by them. They spot the control. They recognize what could be following shortly afterwards, and an immediate explosion out towards B. Omad, he's here alone. Nothing ready and waiting for him, and pick control now secure from the Rugratz. They don't have the smoke to work with on the aggressive angles, and the flank kills going all the way of Rugratz all across the board. Fights. Many of them left to take. Chewy gets a kill here. His teammate drops in towards Monster. 1v3, and all the Glocks coming out strong. Rugratz find themselves the second pistol of the game. Both pistols of the game, an 11th round to work with. Snake's Den. Only 4 rounds left. Okay, we'll go for 5 rounds, actually. I was kind of argue for overtime, but I think at this point of the game, you're not trying to go for overtime. Snake's Den is going to be playing for a win in a game like this, because they want this win. I don't think they would want to take the gamble on something like overtime. So 4 rounds able to be conceded in a worst case scenario, but that is just 4 rounds they can afford to lose, and a round like this is not one Snake's Den can expect to win, so they'll be looking at 1 or 2 gun rounds to work with. And they'll need to pull out a flawless half after the fact. Pistols in towards connector. We'll spot 2. That should force pistols back over to the B bomb site. We're looking at a repetition of our pistol. Except this time, we don't have any information from the CTs on towards the B bomb site. Being planted in the same aggressive post plants, but Snake's Den just don't have the weaponry to contest here. Pistols will need to trade out. I think they'll be happy with a couple rifles at best. The pistols start to flow their way out, and Jackie's been left all alone just within a couple seconds and finding the dig, but being chased by the Glock. And it will find its mark. Flawless round from Rugratz. Snake's Den failed to find a single kill, but off the back of little investment, they're going to be looking to do it in the 3rd round. M4's out on the board, but just not enough money to do it with an op. Hyena with the FAMAS, and I mean, you can see how awful this buy is. I mean, arguably for both teams, Rugratz will deal with the bonus round here. They understand the round advantage they have. Economy should be a priority for them. Mitigate risk as much as you can, but quick water control for Rugratz. Should be looking for the aggressive kill. He's gone huge in previous games. It's good from him. Clean kill. Can put Snake's Den to clean mid-round. Rugratz are playing this patiently as the smoke starts to fade over towards Monster. They're ready to work their way out flash. Throw some players off of angles, but neither team has yet to make their move. That flash was intended to bait out any utility from the CT side. They were met with none, so the final utility starts to work their way through. Blackbird's going to be the entry of this execute, but no rifles ready to find him. The flash will do a great job at forcing the pathing off, but instead Omad swings and is immediately dropped. Lost fire. Graffiti needs to find some kills, but it's just not meant to be. Bomb site in possession of the Rugratz. Yet again, a kill from Blackbird. Zans is found through the white screens of the CT side, but even towards water, just rather Jackie dropping NSM. to do work, but Blackbird through the smokes finds the bomb kill, and all of a sudden it's down to Hyena. Oh, he could have been so close there. The FAMAS just needs to find a couple bullets, though, and in midair, Hyena will find the kill in the 1v1 with a no kit in hand. I'm not sure if he has this. I think he should. There it is. That's... oh my. I was like counting in my head. I should have been more excited there, honestly. That's honestly an important round, because they're able to shut down the rifles of Rugratz. While it doesn't break their economy, it can start to build, I wouldn't say momentum for Snake's Den, but they can head into the next round with guns, because the worst case scenario for them would have been the full investment into that third round and then just have nothing to work with heading into the fourth. I mean, at least now they have rifles on the board, and despite fighting the full rifles of Rugratz here, they'll find these early kills. Hyena and Jackie finding 3, and immediately Rugratz in for the 2v5, and both these players are split on both sides of the map. Sans whipping the first couple of shots, but then recovering. Jackie will be dropped. Sam finding the timing. The rifle will find kill, but Chewy is well positioned as the bomb in the hands of Sans. It'll be forced to contend against 3. Early utility out towards B, and I'm not sure if Snake's Den will be aware of this. They know the short-term presence of Sans, but they can't claim to understand where he's headed. We will hear him, though, heading up towards bathrooms, and Hyena's put himself in a great position. He's aggressed towards long. This bomb starts to work its way up towards A. If anything, he's looking for a bomb plant here, but he's ready and waiting. Hyena hears it, goes for the swing, finds the kill. 3 players alive remaining for Snake's Den, and a very awkward buy. And they'll be given their first opportunity to start to close that scoreline down, but these are exactly the rounds we saw them struggling with in the last half. The low buys from Rugratz. They only need to find those first couple kills, recover the rifles, and find yourself with enough to work with in the mid to late rounds where you can let your stars shine and get those kills, because that's what Rugratz have been really good at doing at. Blackbird finding those great multi-kills in the mid-round. We've seen just off the off, just getting great kills. Finding a nice shot at the top of the Molotov, but need to be shut down soon. Indeed, they will, as Lax is actually able to respond. The Deagles and the pistol's able to make it work. Lax forces himself into a 1v2 situation. He won't opt to recover the rifle. Instead, he finds himself with the timing, heading up towards long. In towards bathrooms. I think he's looking to try to find an off angle here, but Tense is covering both the front of bathrooms and the cross from long, and the M4 or A1S will clear it up. 12-8. The scoreline starting to close. Overpass starting to get more exciting. Pressure is now building for both teams. Rugratz, if they can't pull out this round, they'll be facing a relatively close scoreline, and they're starting to feel the rough side of the economy situation as well. They don't have full utility, even heading into a round like this. Snakes are now starting to build the momentum of their own. They've gone for the aggression over towards A. I like this pace changer. Immediately force Rugratz onto the back foot, force them to contest with the idea of main out situation, and that's exactly what we want to be seeing out of Jackie. Going for the early kill, finding it and repositioning around the smoke. Tense finds another. 5v3, sorry, and positioned in the back. Hyena forcing Rugratz down to 2. That's an excellent early round situation coming up from Snake's Den. You can see them folding back out towards the side of the map. They want nothing to do with these gunfights anymore. They want Rugratz to feel the impact that those kills just had, and I mean, this just got personal. $50 seconds left on the board. The 2 AKs have utility. But they're forcing themselves into a bomb site. 2 players ready and waiting. Hyena is jump spotting. He'll find it though. That's an excellent shot over the top of the boxes though. Just finds a head. Jackie isn't going to be looking to contest. Sorry, he's looking to contest this. Swings off the back of it. Blackbird will find himself his doom, and Tens whipping the first couple shots. That'll give just 2 kills. Palm recovered. Be looking to contest this. Both of them. Molly could seal the deal there. The top of it, just finding another, and the bomb. Just enough time to work with. Chewy in for a 1v1, just working with a 1v4. On the sides of the truck, though, and Chewy on the run finds the kill. Snake's Den with 9 after a really rough situation there towards the end. But you gotta give it to Just. He made that so close and had absolutely no right to. Arguably, off of this post plant, Rugratz have motivation to reinvest back into this because Snake's Den will not have the best gun round to work with here. And I say that. They have all rifles on the board, but 2 players, only 2 sets of utility. Rugratz have opted into this round with MAC-10s. They're forcing the situation up towards Connector. Hyena's ready to meet them, but he's spotting the shoulder. He immediately wants out of this. Can't force this out of this. Oh man, the kills coming through the smoke. Terrorist just ready for this, and the MAC-10s make it work. And Just finding timing up towards A, but immediately dropped. Rugratz ready to reset. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Rugratz are just so good at making the best of the bad situation. They take the gamble up connector. Snake's Den don't opt for that early kill with the op like they have in previous rounds. And with those early kills towards A, they can make it work. But Zans, this kill is everything. Chewy's not going to be ready for it. And that should almost seal the deal. Multi-kills necessary for Snake's Den. And while Tense is in aggressive position here, he's also very tradable. I'm going to start to work its way up towards long. That footstep's going to reveal the position. Oh no, pistol's out and Lax able to find the kill. Omon's forced into 1v4, and this M4 is just about the most important thing in the server right now. Both teams want this. Rugratz destined to find 13. Snake's Den, the elusive double-digit rounds. Find yet another way to escape them. And I absolutely love what I'm seeing out of Rugratz right now. Not only, I guess you can tell that they're very well communicated. They know exactly what they need to be doing. Almost all the players in the server are very well aware of the pathing that needs to be taken. The spacing's very good. The trades usually follow up almost immediately. That's a nice little clothesline there. And whoever's calling on this team is doing an absolutely great job of making the best out of their ecos. They've won an almost unfair amount of them. So round 23, we'll find ourselves at yet another pause. The Snake's Den look to reinvest back into this. This is their must-win round. If they put everything else into this, they're sacrificing themselves the chance of the win. In the case that they lose, they'll be looking to try to fight for overtime. And so, I guess on the other hand, though, if they win back into this, they could be recovering a bunch of rifles. They could recover or not back into this. They could put themselves economically back on top. So little to work with. Hyena over the top of the hedges, making contact but won't fire a shot. Towards B. Water control will be intained. Over towards... I was very confused for a second where that was, but through the smoke, Blackbird drops one towards Monster. Snake's Den now in an even rougher situation, and I'm not sure how that's even possible. Highlighted just how desperate the situation already was. needing to respond. Jackie's looking towards connector. They'll hear that door opening. For sure. Wait. Will Sans hear it? Eagle spam from Jackie will find a rifle. This actually could turn on its head. Bomb still in the position of the Rugrats, but split across the map under the aggressive positioning from Snake's Den. Plenty of map control in hand for them. They could lose out on this round, and I love Jackie's positioning here. No one's going to be looking on this side of the smoke. He finds a head, but not quite able to transfer onto the second. Rugrats now with 30 seconds left. Let's toss the smoke over towards heaven as the bomb starts to work its way back over towards east side. The entries need to come out through short here. Only 20 seconds left. Over the top. Short. Tense finds a kill on the bomb. Chewie on the bomb site just needs to live. And this smoke provides him with perfect reasons to stay alive. Unleashing himself with the MP9. He'll find a kill onto Justin. 4 seconds left with the bomb. It's not going to work its way down. Lax. Looking to be killed after time. That's absolutely worst case for them. Hyena won't recover any weapons, but Rugrats losing a significant turning point in the game. They'll pull through with another pause, and they'll be able to invest fully back into this. His team, Zan's going to be low on money here, but his teammates have plenty to reinvest back into him with. Now an AK recovered for Chewie. Omad, no gun yet in play. But Hyena will drop him an M4. (13-10), and this game has been back and forth for a while, but it's interesting to say, because I would say that Snake's Den have been winning most of the gun rounds. Most of them. But unfortunately, Rugrats just haven't been playing with a lot of gun rounds. They've been playing with so many, like, half buys, so many pistol round buys, so many SMG buys. And those are the rounds they've been winning. They've been forcing Snake's Den back down to pistols, and then they just keep following through once they have their economy rolling. So round 24. Yet another important round. Most of these rounds now crucial for both teams, and Hyena with the scout not going to find an opening. Again, but water control. Blackbird's forced his way in. He's looking for this aggressive kill, but Nade finds its mark and looking for an early first, but juggling the AK after he gets the first and Chewie able to respond through the smoke. That's a huge trade. If they didn't find that, I would have doubted their chances in this round. Sands perhaps looking to repeat the endeavor. The Rugrats force their way over towards bathrooms. Methodical stuff for both teams. Honestly, I can't overstate how important it was that Chewie got that trade. Because Snake's Den do not have the utility to work with here in a retake. They need to be able to shut down and execute as it comes through. I mean, scoreboard pretty even for everyone. Blackbird, the only person who seems to be shining above the rest, as a smoke lands over towards the B-bomb site. Snake's Den looking to play with a... I think that was a one-way from Tense, but... Altov's ready to come through and hiding in the smoke. Tense wants everything here, but now he's alone on the B-bomb site. 3 rifles in front of him. He can't find a target. Hyena in towards Monster will find a kill, but just can't quite find the kill onto the bomb plant. 2v3 situation. Everything's been invested back into this. Just finds another in the back of the op. Hyena with the scout in hand, able to follow back through. Picking up an A1. If you can find a kill onto the bomb site here, this could be important. And finding the... Oh, I was going to say finding the contact onto the bridge, but Lax swinging through, able to find his bearings and find the kill. Rugrats on to 14. Snake's Den down to nothing. They're going to put themselves in a great situation for match point. But more importantly, Rugrats' economy was very borderline in that last round. If Snake's Den could have pulled that through in the post plant, we could have seen an equalized scoreline. But this is absolutely devastating for Snakes Den. Barely missing the head, though. He wants to double back onto this, and he's looking so good with the scout. I mean, we saw the kill from Heaven that last round, but now with the early entry into this one, the Deagles stand a chance to make this work. But a buy like this, there's one idea around it. You put the scout onto aggressive positions, you put as many bullets through chests as you can, and you try to make the Deagles clean up the work. Shot baited out. None will connect. Over towards connector. Jackie will be dropped, and now fully in possession of the T side. Sands aware of the water control. Rotates start to work their way up. Minute left. Rugratz starting to rotate. Bomb back through spawn. Players ready to follow shortly afterwards. Zands looks like he might be aware of a player on the other side of this, but should we, if anything, information matters the most. "25 seconds, the 4 rifles ready to unleash over towards B as they start to go loud, and Chewy's missed the timing. Information out of his possession. He needs to fall here, but he can't. Instead, he'll drop. Rotation's ready. Over towards the B side of the map, but nothing ready to meet them with. Deagle's not able to connect. Immediately drops. Hyena with the scout in hand. He got the kill at the start of the round, but no connections after that. Left in a 1v4 and immediately dropped by Laxi. That's going to be 15. Map and match point for Rugratz and Snake's Den. They need to go flawless for 5 rounds to even stand a chance, and they're back to nothing. Everything was invested into that last round. They would need a miracle. But these are rounds Rugratz have not been losing. These are rounds Rugratz not really capable of losing. They'll group up the rifles. They're heading over towards the B side of the map. They want this rush out towards Monster. Nade could connect here. It lands on their feet, but not much damage done. Instead, it'll be 2 CTs ready to drop tents. Last person ready to greet, but so many people on his screen, and immediately the game's over. 16-10, I believe, in the favor of Rugratz, and that was an absolutely baller game from them. I absolutely cannot complain about the outcome of that. Rugratz definitely deserved every inch of that, and Snake's Den visibly struggling at the loss of Hornet. I don't think Tents played a bad game there, but when you lose a star player like that, you can't afford to have you can't afford to pick someone up and have them play an okay game. They either need to step up or you need someone else to take his spot. And unfortunately, I just didn't see anyone else on the side of Snake's Den picking up the mantle that Hornet was leaving behind. And I mean, honestly, that summarizes most of the game. Rugratz just did such a good job at playing textbook Counter-Strike, playing the nice, the good percentages, going for those, I guess, high percentage duels, taking the right pathing, taking the right gambles. They knew when to make them. They understood the right reads. They hit the right bomb sites when they needed to. And honestly, a well-deserved win from them. I don't think we'll have an interview off the back of that. But as I mentioned, this I think like halfway through the game, this isn't a game I don't think you're expected to win, or rather, not expected to win. Because I came into this same thing that Snake's Den was probably going to be able to make it work. But you can't be upset at a loss like this, especially losing such a caliber of player as Hornet. It does put your team into a rough situation. A lot of your structure is going to be built naturally around someone who frags as heavily as Hornet did. And when you lose that, it takes time to find a new system that works. And unfortunately, heading to a map like this, I mean, I believe Tents joined the roster today, that not enough time to make that work. And so I think they're 4-6 now. They still have a chance to make playoffs. I believe some 8-6 teams do in fact make it, but they'll definitely need to win out the rest of the season off the back of it. And unfortunately, they're just not going to have the time to implement any roster that they want to have. And so playoffs, definitely a long shot. They could make it work, but they would definitely need some massive change up into how the roles work on their team. I think we're not seeing any star player right now that needs to be implemented. And I mean, if this even is their final 5 too, because if this is their final 5th, if they sacrifice playoffs and say screw it, we don't need to implement anything now. Let's focus on next season. We've essentially secured. I guess with one more win, they would secure. Rather, stop relegation into Maine, they can start to focus on next season potentially early on, implement I guess bigger picture structure and make things work. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me tonight. Condolences to Snakes Den Gaming. Sorry the boys couldn't pull through the win, but congratulations to Rugratz on their, I would say, very dominant win, despite how close the scoreline may have seemed. A lot of this round's just so good. But have a good night, everybody. Hopefully I'll see you guys later on.